Rodrigo should have a shot. Here he does. Comes out. Yes! It's Nicholas Jackson. It's 3-3. It's Potter clock.
I love it.
Drink with an immediate impact.
Jackson scored on the rebound.
Potter clock. I like that. I like that.
I was just saying.
By the way, smash like buttons, subscribe, and make sure bell notifications are turned on.
More goals in this for Chelsea. I wasn't there. Fuck.
You see how disappointed City fans were yesterday. They know that Chelsea really stuck it to them, and I don't believe very many, and actually I know for a fact by the reaction of every City fan I've seen, they were not expecting Chelsea to do this. My message is watch more football.
Fuck you.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh
my God. It's 3-3. It's 3-3.
Kind of suits him. I like it, mate.
Jackson's fucking scored against us.
Big save. Got
Jackson's done it. It's not even that they've conceded a third goal. It's Jackson. Stop listening to the media. Watch football.
to be 3-3. Fucking shit, man.
Deflected in. It's in. We've done it.
They've done it.
Yes. Rory.
I
He
think
slides right into the City fans. You take it.
I don't know what that means, but I love it. I love it.
Get in there.
Knee slide. We'll take it. Listen, I think everyone at this point thought that's it now. City have won 4-3. Wow.
Oh! Oh! Rodri scores!
Beard, isn't it?
4-3!
Oh, what a goal! Rodrigo! Golazo, golazo, golazo! Let's fucking go! Boom!
Oh, no.
I love it. I love the ecstasy and the pain at the same time. It's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty.
Oh, man, that one stung. Rodri with a screamer. Too much yapping from me.
That made me laugh.
Angry. I'm sorry. I can't even get angry. It's literally a deflection. Oh dear.
Oh, shits. Go away.
Oh, shit. Oh, I love it. That realization.
Cover. Go away, cover. Don't even... Oh, fucking hell. Rodri, man. Why?
Shit! Bonner! Yes! It's Potter clock!
Love it.
What a fucking game!
Game. He had depth in his voice, so game. But on a real level, I didn't celebrate like this. I'm not a Chelsea fan, but I feel it. This is one of the best games I've ever seen, ever, period. Point, goddamn blank.
Nice.
Ruben, mate. Ruben Diaz, mate. What have you done to us here?
We've done it.
How many times? There's so much time left as well. This game ain't done.
Could have been.
Scores.
Yeah, he scored.
Man, he didn't celebrate. How much
Oh, no,
surprise?
he
I
did.
thought he'd
He
celebrate
did.
me.
He did. It was nonchalant, but he celebrated.
Goal.
Lou?
For fuck's sake. I just don't get it, guys. I don't understand why
It's a goal. There.
you're in the 92nd minute of the game and you've got no one in the midfield, man. Sterling's just...
In its purest form. That was heroin. That was poetry. That was fantastic. And for the second time in a week, I am now going to say about my own team, that was a delectable medley of footballing splendour. That is
Let's go! Come on!
the best game this season. That is a classic, a cult classic, not bestseller. That is a game that will honestly live forever. You know, When we talk about the best games in the Premier League era, we often talk about that Liverpool game that finished 4-3 to them against Newcastle, or maybe the Newcastle beating Manchester United 5-0 or whatever.
Why that one?
No, what we've just witnessed at Stamford Bridge, that was football perfection.
It was a great game. The only thing I would say why it probably won't overtake the 7-0 by Liverpool's. Well, I don't know. The 7-0 by Liverpool to Man United beating Arsenal 8-2. Those games are classics for the wrong reasons. The reason why Liverpool-Newcastle 4-3 classic game is bigger if somebody won. I think if Chelsea or City would have won it at the end, it may have been the biggest ever. But it's up there. It's definitely up there. It was absolutely phenomenal. I want to get your opinions on that, people.
Was everything that you could possibly want. Two dazzling teams going hell for leather, 100 miles an hour, back and forth. It was a game that had everything. Drama, histrionics, silk, venom, skill, aggression. It was just perfect. It really was a fantastic game, and I am so proud of my team. Mauricio Pochettino.
I want to stop Rory there because I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans get called out yesterday and today. How can you be proud of a draw? How can you be proud when you've conceded 4 goals? There's no minerals there. The standards have dropped. Chelsea of old would never be happy with conceding 4 and drawing at home, no matter who they were playing. My personal feeling is you're negating what Chelsea have gone through, the levels they delved to, how far down the pecking order they fell, and the fact that I think Chelsea fans are starting to believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And they're not celebrating the 4-4 per se. They're not celebrating the individual game. It's the belief that they're on their journey back to the top. And I know some people don't like to celebrate until they've reached the destination, but I don't think that's how the majority of football fans work. I'd love to get your view. I'd love to get your honest opinion on that, people.
Was controversial for all the wrong reasons. But today, I think for the right reasons, we got the game that we deserve. And this should be happening every week. I've not seen the Brighton game yet. De Zerbi's apparently not very happy. Poch was storming onto the pitch to talk to Anthony Taylor because there should have been more game time added on. But ultimately, football won. And there is a different conversation to be had about VAR and all these people who are protecting it and saying that... Look, I'm sure Carragher and co will come out and say that Anthony Taylor had a good game. How can he have a good game when he gave a ridiculously bad decision? That's not a penalty. It could have had a massive impact on the game. Fortunately, it's gone a little bit like the Kovacic red card against Arsenal. He should have got a red card, but it didn't stop Arsenal winning the game. It shouldn't have been a penalty, but it didn't stop Chelsea getting what they deserve, which I think is a point. You know, I will be fair to Manchester City and say that they played their part in a really good game.
I'm glad Goldbridge is cooking refs and VAR still, and I put a lot of tweets out in the last couple of days, you know, about Liverpool's ball not crossing the line and rightfully being a goal in their game, and saying how much it still hurts me that Man United was disallowed, and people keep showing an angle where the ball looks out, and I'm like, great, show me that angle for the others, and I'll stop talking about it. These bad decisions, win, lose, or draw, must be discussed. They must be. And the only element I disagree with Mark on slightly is if City don't get that. By the way, City weren't in the game up until that penalty. They would have been nullified. If they hadn't have got that goal, the game could have been different. The game could have been very, very different indeed. Even when Arsenal beat City and the red cards didn't happen. Look, maybe they don't beat City with 10 men, but maybe they beat them 2 or 3-0. Maybe it's more resounding. Maybe it's more convincing. Maybe it gives Arsenal more momentum to move forward with. This is the problem. You never know what you don't know. And I always remember back to a big debate I listened to on TalkSPORT back in 2010. So we're talking 13 and a half years ago, when the ball crossed the line, England, Germany, and it would have made it 2-2 in the World Cup. And there were some people arguing on this debate that even if it was 2-2, Germany were that much better than England, they would have still gone on to have won. And the problem is football doesn't work that way. I understand there's stats and there's probability and there's predictions and there's history, but we all know in any one-off given game, which ironically every game is, if the right goals are given, if the right decisions are made, it can change the course of that football match. Who knows if England would have gone up to another level after scoring that goal? Maybe the Germans become more nervous. Maybe we get the next goal. Who knows? Maybe they become desperate and they lunge into a few more tackles and they get a player sent off. Anything can happen, including we may still have lost. But that's why you want the refereeing decisions to be as accurate as possible. And VAR was meant to stop penalties like we saw Man City get yesterday. It was meant to stop players getting away with red card tackles or violent conduct and it not being seen correctly by the referee. And we still keep seeing these mistakes. So I'm glad Mark has brought it up because I was getting cooked yesterday, cooked for mentioning it. I was getting cooked and ripped into, oh, why does it matter? It was a great game. We shouldn't be focusing on the refs. You can do more than one thing as once. I don't think as football fans we are too unintelligent to not be able to have a conversation about referees, games, players, managers, tactics, systems, all at the same time. Surely in 2023, we can have a conversation like that and it not be overly confusing.
I promise, like, and even it's
you have as a team where you don't quite do it, it don't quite happen, but and you can easily draw, Ali, or lose games in that fashion. So they weren't great, so they weren't brilliant, but they've won the game. Move on, done, 3 points. And you hope that things gradually start to improve and get better. That's all you can do if you're a United fan. You can moan and whinge and whine about what you're seeing all day long, all night long. But the here and now is they didn't play great at the weekend. They got their victory, and they've got to hope that eventually some performances. Listen, a few months ago, no less than that, 4 weeks ago, we're talking about Chelsea in absolute disarray.
I have to stop at. Look, Andy Townsend is a broadcaster, a very good ex-footballer, by the way, and a broadcaster I've always enjoyed listening to. But where I'm going to call him out on this is Man United fans have every right to call out the performances, because what we all know is that the performances are your baseline. So he brings up Chelsea here, and I've seen a lot of Man United fans who are staunch Ten Hag supporters, and it's fine to be a Ten Hag supporter, that just think, oh, we're winning though. And we actually, in the last 5 games, Man United have the best form in terms of points in the Premier League. And this is all true. And it's a good thing. And that's to be happy about. But when you look at the underlying performances, Chelsea in most games this season have performed well. Earlier on in the campaign, they were struggling to put the ball in the back of the net. And then kind of confidence was being sapped. They'd have a weak moment defensively, which a lot of teams have. They were being caught and then not being able to get back into the game. But the baseline performance was there. The fundamentals were there. And they're now starting to add to that. The foundation. The problem is right now, if you watch Man United play, there doesn't appear to be a foundation. So you can buy your sofa, you can buy your roofing tiles, you can buy the double glazed windows to go in. But if there's no foundation, that structure's falling apart. And I think that's where I disagree with Townsend. I'm happy we beat Luton, but I'm unhappy there was another game where we didn't look particularly good. Copenhagen, 20 minutes was a very good performance until the red card, and then we fell apart for large parts of that game. Crystal Palace at home in the Carabao Cup was a brilliant performance. It's the only one this season. So to be almost, 20-odd games into the campaign, to have one full game where we look good and one 20-minute period where we really look good and comfortable and add goals and end product at the end of it is not good enough, and it should be criticised. And anybody denying that is burying their head in the sand. Man United fan, anyway, you're burying your head in the sand like an ostrich. We simply must call this out.
I thought, actually, that was a really good effort. Really, really good performance from him. And I think on the ball, he's starting to show again glimpses of last season, because I think I've been a little bit disappointed from Zinchenko of late. And the last couple of games, he come on the other night at Seville, and I thought, yeah, you're back to where you need to be.
I love that Dan Potts has called this out, because what's been really interesting listening to people talk about Arsenal of late is they haven't been at their scintillating best. They haven't hit in terms of the football as last year. Although I think their performances in some respects defensively have been better. They look harder to break down in the majority of games, harder to beat in the majority of games. And I'm talking Premier League here and Champions League. They're just looking far more solid than I felt they did last year, where it was a little bit more swashbuckling, a little bit more open, a little bit more fun for a neutral to watch. And the games aren't as entertaining this year. And I understand people say football is about entertainment. It is. But if that entertainment, with too much entertainment in your game, stops you from winning major trophies, my personal feeling, if I support that club that's doing it, I'd want it removed. Also, certain players. We know that Zinchenko and Saka, Martinelli, if I name those 3, they have not been at the same level so far this season as last campaign. But there's signs now in the last 2 games that the front players at Arsenal are starting to click, take more players on, getting themselves on score sheets. And Zinchenko, I agree, in the last 2 matches has looked more like the player they signed last season. And this again is bad news. Bad news for anyone that dislikes Arsenal, hates Arsenal, is fearful of Arsenal, believes that last year was a flash in the pan, because the international break may be coming at the wrong time for them. But if they continue in the vein of form they've been in the last 2 matches and grow from this point, as I said to everyone, they're going to be very, very dangerous. And watch out for Zinchenko's form when he returns. He does look like he's getting back to his best, but we will see. I'd love to get your views and opinions on that and all of the clips that are featured on the fan channel reviews today. Make sure like buttons have been hit before you leave. Would love your comments below, as I've already mentioned, and turn on the bell notification button. Turn on bell notifications and get them pushed onto your phone so you miss none of our content when it comes out. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon.